God be with you. How's the watch going? Glad to see you again.
You have the gall to show me your face again? I'll call the guards.
Hold your horses. I'll come in peace. Actually, I have a little offer for you.
You've come to blackmail me again?
Call it what you like. I need to get into the City Council Assembly, and I reckon you can help me.
The Assembly? The one King Sigismund is supposed to attend in person?
Surely you wouldn't deny me a chance to meet the king?
Don't try that on me. This is connected with Ruthard, isn't it? And tell the truth.
I want to know what Sigismund tells the council. I hear it'll be important.
You want to spy? Do you know what you're risking? And what I'd be risking? Forget it.
Have you forgotten I have you over a barrel? If you want to keep your position and your head on your shoulders, you better shape up.
All right, all right. Maybe we can make a deal. If I get you into the council, you'll behave appropriately and you won't betray yourself, or especially me. And that will be the end of our business together.
And how about a few groschen to seal our fruitful relationship?
Are you trying to annoy me? You might have dug up some dirt on me, but I have connections. One word, and you won't live to see the dawn. I'll get you into the Assembly. But that finishes things between us. Understand?
Oh. All right.
You can get into the Council Assembly relatively easily. My cook's son will be serving there. He's roughly around your age. Maybe he can be persuaded to let you stand in for him. Although, not everyone would want to give up an opportunity to serve the King of Hungary.
Who's this boy?
Franta's his name. Franta Cooldown. He's an idler and a boozer, but he's proved his worth as a waiter. Which reminds me, you'll need his letter of permission to serve in the council. Otherwise, you won't be let inside.
What will I need to work as a waiter there?
Fast feet and good manners. And the livery of a royal waiter.
Excuse me?
Do you think you can serve the king in a torn shirt and muddy hose?
Well, no. But I never heard about any livery before.
Our usual waiter had a brand new livery made specially for meeting the king. Don't even show up there without it.
Where can I find the cook's boy?
He's supposed to pick up his new clothes at the market today from Master Tailor Schneider. You'll almost certainly run into him there. That is, if he's up and about after his boozing bout. I swear that fellow practically lives at that Tin Hen.
At the what?
That German alehouse, the Iron Eagle. That is Zum Eisernen Adler.
What would work on him? How can I persuade him to give me his job?
Would you like me to give you a letter for him? I told you how to get to the Assembly. Now do your part.
I'll be going then. See you at the council.
Just make sure we both come out of it alive.
Oh, excuse me.
space.
Don't be coy. Here they are.
The best fabric. The finest work. I nearly left my fingers on them for buttons.
Greetings. I'd like to...
Surely you can wait a while. I have a customer here. Here you are. The finest fabric. Intricate work. You won't find the likes anywhere else in this town.
No more than I'd expect after the amount they cost. Thanks. I'll gladly recommend you if anyone asks. And you impatient fella, what was it you wanted?
You must be Franta Cooldown.
I am. And who might you be?
I'm Henry. I heard you're supposed to serve at the City Council Assembly.
I am. What's it to you?
Supposing I took the job on for you. You can put your feet up, fill your belly, and I'll do all the work for you.
Look here. It's not like I'm all that keen on it, but it's well paid. Apart from that, it's a bit of a pain in the arse. Them councillors stuffing their faces and guzzling wine, while I run around like a bugger with pitchers so they don't run dry. Why would you want to stick your nose in there?
I just have to get in there, understand? I have an important message for the king about a plot against him.
But why would you want to get to him as a waiter?
But it could be that someone from the council is mixed up in it, so I have to be incognito. See?
I see. All right, then. To begin with, you'll need confirmation that you've worked as a waiter at the council and you're capable of serving even His Majesty. Look here. Do you have any idea what's expected of you? Can you tell different wines apart and that?
Of course. Who do you take me for?
All right. No need to get upset. Show the confirmation to the head butler. Tell him I sent you and think up some good excuse. Clear?
That makes sense.
And you'll need a waiter's livery. I had a brand new one made. Here it is. I look like a prick in it. Hopefully it'll sit better on you. The main thing is, don't lose it before the assembly or get it covered in shit.
Thanks. I won't disgrace you, I promise.
You better not.
Stripe fabrics!
Pots here. Axes, fires, nails. Take your pick. All quality wares.
Come here.
Gander. We've got it all.
Bowls, pots, pot
Don't be
lids,
coy.
the finest mugs.
Fine day for some fine wares. Come and take... Excuse me.
Franta Cooldown sent me. I'm to stand in for him at the council assembly.
Franta's not coming? What's wrong with him?
He's in church. He's been there on his knees for 2 days, from dawn to dusk. I suppose he committed some awful sin. Got a very fat penance.
Did he have to go and confess now, when he's supposed to report for duty? Well, what can I do? You'll have to stand in for him. We can't be without a waiter here, when the king himself will need waiting on. So, let's have a look at you. Have you got Franta's certificate?
Sure. Here it is.
Everything's in order. Now, about your livery. You know a good waiter by his properly seated cap, and you don't have one at all. Without a tunic, you're no royal waiter, just a common alehouse boy. And have you forgotten your hose? You can put your steel aside in front of the council chamber. You don't want to be dragging a load if you're running around tables. The royal waiter's livery has strict rules. So get changed quick and come back on time.
Here I am.
Let's have a look at you then. You've got a waiter's cap, a tunic you have. Hose are good. It's a good thing you've got no steel on you. You need to be light on your feet to run around tables. Everything as it should be. Glad to see it, lad. Do you know what your duties are? For an inexperienced greenhorn like you, it'll be a great responsibility.
I'm no greenhorn. I have plenty of experience. Not long ago, I poured wine for the Archbishop of Mainz.
Oh, I see. Forgive me. But allow me to give you one piece of advice. Sir Adam of Zargitz will be among the guests. Don't pour wine for him. Otherwise he'll get drunk and disgrace us all in front of the king. And in general, a good waiter has to be invisible, blind, and deaf.
Oh? I thought I had to keep my ears pricked.
Well, yes, but only to what anyone wants from you. No excuses, and provide everything that anyone wants from you. Understood?
Absolutely. I'm a waiter, after all. Not some street gossip monger.
Correct. And if you manage not to botch it up, you can even rise on the social ladder. Not just anyone can serve the King of Hungary, but you'll manage it, right?
I know everything I need to. I can do it.
Excellent. Put away your things here. It's easier to serve with a lighter load. You can wait in the cubbyhole for the servants.
The city reserves are in urgent need of new weapons. Unverzüglich. Our current Waffenarsenal is a joke, and on top of that, the army was requisitioned from it.
You there,
Should the
lad,
town
a
reserve
cup
have
of red,
worse weapons
and
than
don't
any
you skip
räuber
on
in
me.
the domain?
What are you getting at, Eldris?
I'm saying that the bandits who freed Henning, the Dry Devil, used that thing. That... The city reserves are in urgent need of new weapons.
There are the pictures of wine.
Our current
Hopefully I won't splash
Waffenarsenal
anyone's
is a
shoes.
joke, and on top of that, the army was requisitioning from it. Should the town reserve have worse weapons than any räuber in the domain?
Hey, waiter, pour
What
me
are
some
you
Takai.
getting at, Eldris?
I'm saying that the bandits who freed
I
Henning,
apologize, sir.
the Dry Devil,
Which
used
one?
that
Tokai.
thing.
That's the
That-
white.
Can you believe it? Where did they get them?
You're the one who should know where they come. Since you're a gunsmith.
What are you
Sir?
implying, Friedrich? All I'm saying is that they had them.
Thank you,
Temple.
waiter.
It is like a champion with outlaws have better weapons than the city garrison. And her König surely knows this too.
What is it, Eldris? You smell a deal?
What I smell is that your stubborn heads do not realize
Hey,
what
waiter,
Schwierigkeit
pour me some
this
monastery
is.
wine.
The Dry Devil is running free. There are outlaws everywhere in the region. We have the army bearing down, and you want
Sir?
to defend yourselves with a few rusty helpers.
Well, thank the Lord.
Isn't he? Der König and his army. Will not be here forever.
Shut up! The king can arrive at any moment. What if he
Hey,
heard you?
waiter, pour me
What
some
then?
monastery wine.
We're sitting atop the biggest silver heap in the kingdom, and we're supposed to defend it with brooms?
You're right, Eldris. But where can we get the coin for better recruitment?
We can always confiscate the property of the king's enemies, nicht wahr?
Well,
More than familiar with the Yemeni state of our army. The king is surely aware of it as well. Maybe if he waived some of the taxes.
The king fears that this town will rise against him. He'll take the arming of the city's militia as a preparation for war.
So you suggest we just wait with arms crossed for the Raubritter to wreak havoc all around?
We can always ask the king to bring order to the realm with his army.
But then the Dörfler will rise up.
I'm afraid I see no solution of the current situation. We shall wait and see what His Majesty thinks about the matter. Maybe we can change his mind. Vielleicht?
I'd like to report to the Honorable Council on the cleanliness of the city and the state of the public baths.
You mean baths or brothels?
My cup is empty.
Isn't it the same thing?
Pour me some wine.
So, the cleanliness of the city is not what it should be. The current baths in the city fall far short.
But a woman
I'd
named
go
Betty
for
has
that
showed
white
up in
myself.
Hubrink and wants to repair the baths that used
sorry,
to be
sir.
there.
She's a
Orders from
protege of
above.
Maresh.
Am I supposed to
Her
die of
efforts are
thirst here,
commendable,
or
but
what?
I don't think she will succeed. It takes a firm hand, a soft.
More
feminine
wine,
finger.
Master Bailiff?
A moment
I have
ago,
enough
you were
wine.
complaining there
Come
weren't enough
closer.
baths. Shouldn't we support her?
Something like this is better handled by trustworthy people.
I need something from you. There is an item in my study that I confiscated from a female thief. She thought she could wriggle out of it by telling me who the item belongs to.
And what is it?
A silver goblet. She sneaked into Sir Ulrich's house and stole it. No one's noticed the theft yet. But if Ulrich finds out, he'll turn the city upside down to find the culprit. Go and get it. And don't you make a mess there, understand?
I can't. I'm supposed to serve the lords.
You're supposed to do what you're told.
Keeping the city clean is important.
Boy, I'd like some white.
Arguing about who is going to wash where and how is a waste of time.
It's only a waste of time because we're always arguing about the same thing.
Not
Sir?
at all. If you'd finally admit that it's a trifle, we wouldn't have to keep coming back to it.
A trifle. Do you ever walk the streets? Sewage, rats, slop, and rubbish. The least we can do for the citizens is to provide them with a place to wash up.
What nonsense! Next, you'll want me to serve wine to everyone for free, too.
Why not? In Jerome Nas's earthly paradise, everything would be free.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Gentlemen, let's agree to disagree. What if the king heard us?
I got word that Rutard has pulled off another deed.
That's nothing unusual. That old weasel will never accept that the city isn't run his way, at least until His Majesty honors us with his visit. And as we know,
Waiter,
Gunslin
pour me
absolutely
red wine.
hates him.
He can hate all he wants, as long as he does no damage. Ulrich, what have you got to say about it?
Sir?
Horseshit! You know full well, everybody knows, he wiped the floor with you!
Compose yourself, Adam, and stop drinking. The king might come any time now.
That's right. Let's not burden the anointed monarch with such...
Me? Compose myself.
Pour me red wine.
I beg your pardon. I demand that you...
Ruhe! Franz,
Sorry?
please continue.
I'm speaking about the Rutard incident.
Thank you.
Were there, weren't you?
Just a small misunderstanding. We've sorted it out and everything's settled.
My ears must be deceiving me. Are you defending Rutard? Besides, if his men attacked yours, as I've heard, then we have a good reason to punish him.
What happened there? Leave nothing out.
I don't like Rutard, true, but in this case it really was nothing.
Everyone in the city gossiped about it. I heard there were several dead.
Did you? That's grossly...
Hey, waiter, pour me
I
some
don't
Tokai.
think Rutard will cause any trouble. He is sensible enough not to draw attention to himself while the king was here.
That's true. Because if we don't do something about him,
Sir?
the king himself will put an end to him, and soon.
Well, puts an end to us first.
If nothing happened, there's no point in dwelling on it. Let's move on.
Things have got out of order in the town. Some adventurers decided to take the law into their own hands and restore the tradition of duels. It's not only barbaric, but also illegal. If we tolerate this, the rabble in the city will go wild and do whatever they want. I suspect the gentleman from the city's
I'd like
sword
some
fighting
monastery
school brought
wine.
this custom
Refill
to us.
my cup,
it's
boy.
now run by the German Menhar.
Don't be ridiculous.
Sir?
You act like you've never been in a fight yourself.
Don't hang around me. Vanish, you hear me?
As you wish, Sir Ulrich.
So you will just leave it be?
Proven offences are punished
come here
by
for a
the
moment.
bailiff. And that's that. There are
Refill, sir.
Do you think I come to the council just to guzzle wine?
What can I help you with, sir?
I left my gloves in the chapel. I took them off to pray, but then I rushed here and forgot to take them. I can't just get up and walk out now. But if you disappear for a little while...
All day long.
All right,
So what if they have
I'll get them.
reason?
I knew I could count on you. While you're at it, count how many figures on the mural have wings.
But why?
Because I'm bored, and because I told you. Get on with it.
If I threw out everyone who complains over a beer, I'd soon be out of custom.
You'll never get anywhere like this.
That was easy enough. And he wanted me to count the winged figures.
So, let's see what you've got for me.
I found your gloves, sir.
Really? Let's see them. And did you count those winged figures?
I counted 16, sir.
And did you count all the monsters and animals?
Oh, I thought you meant only the angels.
Go back to serving wine, blockhead.
Just the eternal dispute over the cathedrals. The building of the church is taken on, and in the meantime, they are calling diocesan pilgrimages to settlers, right under our noses. It's just a village with a monastery, and they
I'll
are
have a
going to
cup
rock
of
a roll
wine.
mining city. Why can't we build faster? Hire more craftsmen, start with night shifts.
Because those so-called craftsmen are a bad
Sir?
parasites. You pay them, they come back.
You, lad. You look familiar to me. Have we met?
Well, naturally. I go to your tavern almost every day.
Really? Then you must have decent wages to be able to visit the best tavern in town regularly.
Proceedings with your drunken brandy. war going on. Are the experts from far off supposed to work in a city under siege?
Besides, I get the feeling there's something other than the welfare of the city
Tokai!
behind your complaints.
And a full cost.
You do? Would that be?
Like, for instance, that you'd like to have your altar there?
Sir?
What if I would? Hold your horses, gentlemen. That
Good.
space in the side gate is mine. The hell is all I fight. Your place is at least 2 steps behind mine.
A swordsmith dares to insult me? Ha! I think not.
Worthy councillors, we are not on the marketplace
I'd like
to
some light.
argue like fishwives. The construction of the cathedral is proceeding slowly, and, as Jerome says, there is a war, and there is neither money nor craft.
Sir?
But with our joint powers, we will finish the building
Thank you, waiter.
in the glory of God and our city, even if it takes 100 years. What is next in the order of business?
I'm telling you, something is being planned.
Oh, I doubt it. No one's gonna tackle Root hard.
Azonal Tücek Össe, Elegio Petonaikat, Ishkelkinek Udra.
You have nothing to fear. Not you.
And like this plan of falls!
Come now, Father. Put a little life into your dying. I've seen more cheerful priests at funerals.
I'd rather be at one than here. I hoped I'd never see this fortress again in my life.
Unpleasant memories?
You have no idea. I didn't part ways with my father on entirely good terms. 20 years ago.
And now you're 2 decades older and wiser. At your Ujit's parish, you spread the word of God to your flock, and you saved my neck and Henry's too. I'd say your father should be proud of you.
None of that matters a damn to him.
Who knows? Maybe that 20 years has changed a thing or two.
You know what? Let's drop the subject. Do you know any of the guests here?
Most of them I'm seeing for the first time in my life. It's a pretty varied company. We've had bandits, nobles, burghers, a priest, and even a rabbi coming together here. It's like the start of some joke.
Wait a moment. Rabbi, you say? The Kuttenberg rabbi?
Yeah. He came with a retinue. But for now, they're keeping mostly to themselves. Maybe you should go and welcome some of them. After all, this used to be your home. And you're a spiritual man too, so you should have something in common.
I wouldn't be too sure. But I suppose I can try. Who's that French fellow you brought here from Malashov?
The great Baron Brabant. Been everywhere, knows everything, and has the keys to half the kingdom. He's got more fairy tales than my old nanny.
Can he be trusted?
He's a blabbermouth, but a harmless one. Besides, he defended Kuttenberg, and you know how that went. If he were on Sigismund's side, he'd hardly have been locked up with me.
What do you plan to do now you're a free man again?
What do you think? Get drunk, woo one of the local wenches, and wake up in the morning with no hose and a head like a church bell.
Have you perchance forgotten we're supposed to be deciding the future of the kingdom here?
I'll leave that to the older and wiser. And duller.
How does it feel to breathe free air again?
What can I say? You can never truly appreciate freedom until someone locks you up for a while.
Or until you become a priest.
No fear of that in my case. I intend to enjoy life to the full. Wine, women, and song.
Dear me. I'd rather creep off into some corner with a full wineskin. But I suppose I'll have to introduce myself to the rest of the guests, eh?
Indeed you should. After all, you are one of the lords of Rabosh.
Oh, don't start with that. I'd like to steer clear of the old man as long as I can.
In that case, you should sound out Radzig and Hanush and find out what they're actually planning.
Such rare guests. One wouldn't expect to find among Christians representatives of your community. I'm Godwin. My greetings to you.
Peace be with you. Neither would one expect a priest here. And yet...
How do you know I'm a priest?
It's not difficult to tell. After all, we have much in common. And we are both a little on unfamiliar ground here. I'm Yehuda, leader of the rabbinical court in the sacred community of Kuttenberg. And this is Samuel, my aide.
Who would rather not be here at all. Why did we have to come here, Sadie? Can you not see everyone is staring at us?
Because we all need to help each other in this time of need. And why would they not stare when you are frowning so?
Are you looking for friends among us?
Let us say rather that we have chosen a side. The situation in the town and the kingdom is unsustainable. The whole land is on the brink of destruction. You have men and weapons. We have the means to sustain them.
Why are you telling this to a Koimer? You wanted to deliver what we brought to the Margrave and quickly leave.
Everything in good time, Samuel. We have just arrived, after all.
Did you come to lend money to the lords?
Not to lend, but to give. Help given to the needy is repaid only by God.
You don't even know if you can trust them. With that money, we could have paid mercenaries ourselves.
You remind me of my young friend Henry. He's a bit of a hothead too.
Henry? That messenger of Radzik Copula?
You know each other. You're both around the same age.
That would be him. But we did not get off to a very good start.
Henry's done a few things I'd like to give him a slap or two for. But like they say, to err is human. For a young stripling, he's been through plenty. It's not so long since his parents were killed in Skalitz. He was supposed to become a blacksmith, and instead, he's roaming the world, risking his neck at every turn.
Wait, a blacksmith, you say? From Skalitz?
Aye, that's right. Did you know anyone there?
I knew of someone. A blacksmith by the name of Martin.
My daughter knew him most, and that is why Samuel is in this world. For our numerous sins.
Maybe he was my father, but he certainly didn't act like one. Ma raised me on her own.
And that was all for the best.
Why? He should have taken care of me, but instead he fathered another bastard.
Don't make hasty judgments. As far as I know, Martin didn't have any other children. At least, none of his own. He took in Henry and raised him as his own, on the orders of the Lord of Skalitz, Sir Radzik Copula, Henry's real father.
I don't care if he took care of 20 other Mamsas.
That boy's blood father denied him, just like yours did to you.
A person can't choose their parents. And Henry only found out about it recently.
Enough. I'd rather have a drink. Will you have one too, Zayde?
For that, there will be more suitable times.
Good health.
L'chaim.
It's easy for him to rouse people to war when he has nothing to lose. From what I know, even without an army.
This fella could give the king a lot of trouble.
And who would entrust him with it? Without a coat of arms and a noble house, all he can command is a band of mangy bandits. Jobst is right. We must grit our teeth and wait for Sigismund to run out of money.
That's how it'll end eventually. Everyone will realize you can't wage war without coin.
I'm glad you finally accepted my invitation. I almost lost all hope.
It's not that I didn't want to, but understand that my absence from the city council would have serious consequences.
I understand. I appreciate your coming here all the more.
I'll have to justify myself before the council and come up with some reasonable explanation.
We'll think of something. Maybe you can say you were investigating a conspiracy.
I was thinking something like that as well. And in truth, I wanted to discuss this with you.
I'm listening.
I've come into possession of evidence against Anna of Volstein.
Of course. Half the city can't stand the sight of Bartosz's widow.
And rightly so. She spends Bartosz's money on food and wine. She acts all pious and sighs in church like she's moved by the sermon. But she should do some reading on intemperance.
You're confusing crime with sin, my friend. And when you get a taste of my wine, maybe you'll sin too.
I have enough evidence to charge her. She's in cahoots with that scum from the Jewish quarter.
Be careful with your words. Haven't you noticed the rabbi is in the main hall?
How could I not notice him? A strange fellow, I tell you. And that companion of his. Hellfire burns in his eyes.
I've been wondering myself what they're doing here. But back to Anna. What are you planning?
I want to present this evidence to the council. As a way of deflecting any suspicions. And it'll also serve your cause well. Anna is drawing unnecessary attention to herself, which could really invite a lot of trouble for you.
If you think so, I hope we're not nurturing any more vipers in our bosom.
Only time will tell. As long as it's just talk, food and drink, you have allies aplenty. But when push comes to shove and someone loses their property, their position, or the roof over their head...
Tell me something I don't know. Every one of them is afraid what happened to Ruthard in Malashov will happen to them.
They congratulate themselves that the king took his wrath out on him, and they got away. For now.
And that's why we need to act and decide how to proceed together. I should get going.
Good health to you, sir. I'm Godwin, a friend of that lad you arrived with, Henry. We don't know each other.
Baron Vauquelin-Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo. The last of my line. I am a warrior, a traveler, a strategist, and also, à ma manière, a poet.
My word. Isn't that exhausting?
Mais non! And I'm glad to meet a new friend.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Baron. I knew right away we'd hit it off. How did you end up imprisoned in Malashov?
Ah, c'est une histoire compliquée. It was after I heroically led the defense of Gothenburg, and only lost it narrowly by an unfortunate turn of events.
That needs some explanation. What unfortunate turn of events?
Oh, misère. It is clear you have never been to war.
You're quite mistaken, Monsieur Baron. I have.
Ah, je suis désolé. This Bohemia is a strange land. I have seen farmhands, children, and even women fighting. But the clergy? Sainte Mère, do tell me about it. No doubt you fought on the side of truth and honor.
My last big battle was in Kosovo.
I've heard of this battle. Many great men fell there.
Aye. And it was there I decided it was nothing for me. So I settled down in the presbytery in Ujits.
Then, what are you doing here, at a meeting of opponents of the crown?
Ah, the Lord moves in mysterious ways. You say you're a poet? How about a verse or two to amuse us?
Jamais. Is poetry nothing but a fuss to you? Is a poet a gesture for amusement? I think not. To recite, I require the proper mood. And besides, few here would understand me.
Where have you been on your travels? Have you seen the ocean?
But of course! I was born by the sea. If you are interested in my greatest journeys, then I have traveled with a merchant caravan all the way to the Ottoman Empire. And if you are interested in my greatest deed, then that was perhaps saving the life of the King of France.
And you wouldn't by any chance know the Pope, personally?
Which one do you mean? I spoke briefly with Boniface IX when I was sojourning in Rome. A pleasant fellow.
How come almost nobody here knows you?
I am operating, as they say. Incognito. My great benefit is my strong connection with the French court. There, everyone knows my name. Here in Bohemia, I'm still building my reputation, slowly, but surely.
Dear friends and allies, in these troublesome times, you all know why we're here. The question remains, what to do next? Sigismund is facing troubles in Hungary, and here, too, he is up against resistance. He's a capable strategist, but a poor diplomat. Mark my words. If we wait him out until winter, he will leave of his own accord.
By winter, he'll have torched all our fortresses and carried off everything that we possess.
Are we seriously gonna wait and cower in a corner? Or are we gonna drive them out in shame? A few well-planned raids and we could have him in our fists!
At what price? Have you got men to spare? Has any of you got men and money to spare?
We don't have men out there.
Yes, we do.
We do not.
Jobst is right. That whole sun won't fall easily.
Only we can't wait.
Are we to get ourselves killed?
Or end with nothing?
Friends, we'll get nowhere like this. Let's adjourn ourselves and try to think it through.
Well, that went just as expected. Good health.
And to yours. Could it have gone any other way when there's so many of us here?
I would have expected a bit more sense from Jobst, of all people. He made an amateur's mistake. But it's hard to be angry with him when he's trying to ingratiate himself with everyone. By the way, I'm John of Liechtenstein. And you must be Godwin, the son of...
That's not a thing I've ever boasted of. How do you know that?
I have my sources. From what I've heard about you, I'd judge you could be quite useful to me at today's gathering.
Is that so?
Indeed. And that's why I'd like to ask something of you.
It depends what it's all about.
A little delicate diplomacy. I expect we can agree that Jobst's plan has certain shortcomings.
That's a weak word.
And the way it stands at the moment, he'll never get the support of the council. But I have an idea how to change that.
Well, I'm curious how you hope to shut Zizka up and satisfy the ones who want peace.
We'll sit and wait quietly until Sigismund withdraws of his own volition, as Jobst proposes, but we'll be waiting in the military camp of our huge new army.
If Sigismund decides to mount an attack on the camp, it'd be a massacre.
Ah, but it won't. Sigismund's army is demoralized and weakened. And besides, he's running out of resources. He's able to tackle fortresses that aren't able to defend themselves, but he won't engage an equal force on the battlefield.
But he can't retreat either. That would be a disgrace.
And that's exactly why we'll wait until he's called back to Hungary by events there. For the plan to work, we need allies, their money and their determination. We've already set the ground for it. We just need negotiators who will push the right people in the right...
Set everything in motion, even before Jobst.
More like in parallel, but without his knowledge. If we find support and make it look like the whole thing was his idea, we'll all win.
You've got an interesting way of approaching things.
You're certainly not the first to tell me that. I take it as a compliment.
Why are you doing all this anyway?
Because I want to put a stop to the senseless deaths. And also because I'm happier with Wenceslas on the Bohemian throne.
I'll help you. What exactly should I do?
I'll give you 3 names. Botchek of Kunstadt, Hamann Alder, and Anna of Waldstein. If you can get those 3 on our side, we've won the day. Meanwhile, I'll take care of Jobst.
Tell me a bit more about those people, so I know who I'm dealing with.
Certainly. Who do you want to start with?
Botchek of Kunstadt. I know the name, but I can't quite place him.
That's just the thing. He's got massive estates, great influence, but he holds back. He doesn't play the big game, because he doesn't like to take risks. He always goes for the sure thing. But once he's made his mind up, not even a pair of oxen will hold him back.
Alder the Alderman. Wasn't he a Kuttenberg councillor?
He still is. The only one who retained his position after the city was taken. Only he's here, instead of cozying up with Sigismund in Kuttenberg. So his days in the council are numbered. But he'll continue to have a strong influence on the guilds and the rich burghers. And that's why we need him.
Anna of Waldstein. The widow of that rich mine owner. What was his name?
Wenzel Bartosz. And I'm not surprised you forgot.
I was quite surprised to see her here. Assemblies like this are more of a...
A male affair? So far, Godwin, so far. Anna is holding back and behaving like an exemplary young widow. But don't trust appearances. She's got claws, she knows how to do her sums, and she certainly has no love lost for Sigismund.
And what use can she be to us? Apart from her late husband's money, of course.
She's as sharp as they come when it comes to trade, and she knows a thing or two about diplomacy. There are wicked tongues that claim Bartosz acquired most of his wealth thanks to her, and that it was thanks to her that he died, too.
I'll get on it then. Wish me luck.
I wish us both luck. Before the day is over, the die will be cast.
Success to our plans.
Not even Botchek?
Not even Botchek. And he's a great lord.
That's hard to believe.
Martin likes to exaggerate. Look out! Sorry nags even when they belong to someone else.
Nags? What nags? These are the best thoroughbreds east of Prague.
I'd like to check your horses out and see if they're as good as you say.
Pah, even better. But you won't believe it until you see for yourself.
And you might not believe your eyes when you do see them. Well, well, we have a new guest.
I wanted to...
You wanted to apologize for crashing into my home without it by your leave. Or to harass my guests some more?
I want to have a word with Alder.
Well, I'm having a word with you.
I apologize, Father.
For interrupting our conversation? Or just for being you?
Is that your...
Unfortunately. Speak up then. What are you doing here?
I came with a delegation from Sir Hanush of Lipa.
Is this a joke?
Why so strict, Martin?
20 years ago, he was nothing but a cheeky brat, only interested in wenches and booze. I got him a place at the Archbishopric to have some sense beaten into his head. Only it wasn't long before they kicked him out. And then I find out he's settled in some backwater parish in Sassau. But he took his boozing and whoring along with him, lost everything, and then came creeping home again. Huh?
Try saying it again a little louder. They might not have heard you in the outer courtyard.
You have the impertinence to show me your face after the way you disgraced our whole family?
You're exaggerating, like you've always done.
Me? Exaggerating? You're the one who turned my home into a house of ill repute. Your whores wandering around as if they owned the place.
Oh, actually, anything fun was strictly banned under your roof. But maybe you ought to try it yourself sometime. Then maybe you wouldn't be such a bitter old grouch.
You're dishonoring your host.
I can't dishonor someone who has no honor. If you had any, you'd be...
That's enough!
Christopher.
You won't get away with those insults. I challenge you to a duel.
I refuse to fight. I'm here as an envoy, not a jester.
You've got no other option. You insulted Father's honor.
Gentlemen, surely there's no need for violence. I can have a word in private with Lord Odorin, the second, as he desires, and then...
Out of the question. This uncouth lout needs a lesson, and he's got plenty to learn from Christopher. By God's grace, I have at least one son I can be proud of.
You want satisfaction? You'll get nothing but shame, as always. Suit yourself, then. We'll fight. Come to the outer courtyard, but quietly. We don't have to put on a show for the crowd.
After you.
Well, that's that. Now, where were we?
Shouldn't we rather...
No, Christopher would sort it out, you'll see.
Make room for us. We'll just settle a very private matter. It's an honorable duel, man against man. Stay back!
Wanker!
Left arm lower! I might be old, but I'm not wrecking up. You don't know which end of that thing is up. What's wrong with your legs?
That was sneaky.
Aim with your whole arm, not just your wrist. Look in my eyes, not at my sword.
You're fast.
Cover your right side.
Bad
You've got a
luck.
gap there I could drive a car through.
Did they teach you that in the seminary? Hey, who taught you that? You're fast.
Stand firm. Otherwise, the first strike will put you on your arse. Forgive me, Lord, for what I do.
Not bad for a priest. Hey, who taught you that? Enough! That will do. My God, where did you learn to wield a sword like that? Father always said you were a good-for-nothing boozer. But you could teach sword fighting in a school.
I was in a war, right after they kicked me out of the archbishopric. And you ought to know yourself. Not all the faults that Father sees are real.
Aye. Well, I apologize for going off like that. I had to, so that...
So Father would be satisfied. I know. Only he'll never be satisfied. And the sooner you realize that, the better.
I thought he was the way he was because his first son let him down. And he hoped at least his second would become something.
Not at all. I remember him the same since I was a nipper. When I was 6 years old, I fell off a horse and broke my leg. He wouldn't talk to me for a week because I'd let him down.
The first time he took me hunting, he let me starve for 3 days until I was able to shoot my first hare.
Only 3 days. He got soft.
I always wondered who you were. There was never much talk about you at home.
Look, I really did fuck up everything I could. I brawled and boozed until they threw me out of my own parish. But now, I have a chance to put things to rights a little.
And that's why you want to talk to Alder?
I've got to get him on our side and to cooperate with us.
Aren't we all on the same side?
Maybe everyone's saying that. But it's time to put it into action.
After your encounter with Father, it won't be easy to get to Alder. Actually, I don't think you should even attempt it. Unless you want to anger Father even more.
What else can I do, though?
I'll talk to him myself. He'll hear me out for sure. But you'll have to trust me. And tell me what it's all about.
All right, then. You've heard Yob's plan, right? It's a nice idea, but we can't wait around without an army to back us up.
Only no one's going to pay for one, because that would be an outright admission of rebelling against Sigismund.
Alder's got some clout with the councillors and burghers who are loyal to Sigismund. If he agrees, they'll follow.
I expect Alder's not the only one you're after.
You got that right.
Leave Alder to me. The plan sounds sensible, and he's no fool.
I don't know how to thank you.
You can drag me to a tavern sometime. Pa doesn't need to know about it.
You're starting to sound like a brother.
Alliance against our common enemy.
They're trying to do one thing and one thing
Christ
only.
be praised.
Line their pockets.
They remember well how the burghers in Moravia fared in the last war.
They were on the wrong side. And wasn't it the lords of Kunstadt who got the most out of it?
You said it yourself. It was war back then, now we're allies.
Allies? Aren't you more concerned about keeping the spoils of war, Sobotchek?
I beg your pardon?
Another war wouldn't suit you so well, would it?
Because of the likes of you and Hennick the Dry Devil.
Now you can't stand the sight of us. But we were good enough to do the dirty work for you.
Didn't you get paid? The rest of it isn't my problem, Zizka.
I didn't come here to argue with another Kunstadt. Dry Devil is enough.
You two sound like an old married couple. You argue all the time, but you couldn't live without each other. And he hasn't even greeted his own cousin yet. Tell me, what did Hennick ever do for his house?
He certainly doesn't sully its name by conspiring with the merchants. A knight ought to fight out of conviction, not for profit.
He who has nothing can lose nothing. Eh, Lord Trotsnov?
Just you wait. The likes of Rutard and Alder will certainly find some use for your silver.
Sir Bocek, I need to speak with you for a moment.
A man hardly puts his cup to his lips and someone comes along to put a flea in his ear. Yobs comes up with a plan as full of holes as a beggar's shoes, and now you're all jostling to win me over for him.
On the contrary, I've come here with an idea how to improve it.
Does that improvement include a few thousand men-at-arms? If not, you can go to the devil with it.
A few thousand men-at-arms as a convincing argument. And 100 horsemen on top. Only in order to get them, we need coin.
You've got my attention, but not my money yet.
How can I persuade you?
I need guarantees of security. I don't want to end up like Rutard.
Of course. Once it comes to protecting property, ideals go out the window.
You can talk, since you haven't got a pot to piss in yourself. If you were in my position, you'd think differently. I have a lot of property, lots of subjects to look after, and along with that, the Lord blessed me with a large family. I can't risk it all in a conflict with Sigismund.
So you need guarantees that you won't be left standing in the cold if you openly oppose Sigismund.
My guarantee is called Yitka. She's my niece. If I succeeded in marrying her off to another strong house, I'll have the certainty that I won't be left alone.
Maybe it's enough to find a suitable groom among the allies.
Perhaps someone of suitable standing who Yitka would also gladly accept. I don't want her to be unhappy.
I believe Liechtenstein is single.
And an uncertain party. Besides, he's inconvenient for Sigismund.
How about young Lord Capon?
He's a youngster still.
He may be young, but he's got something between his ears. He's got battle experience. And when he gets the estate that's his by right, he'll be well secured for life.
If he gets it. Right now, Hanush lords over Rattay and seems quite happy with that state of affairs. On the other hand, the lords of Lipa have a good reputation, and Hanush can always be relied on, despite his temper. Maybe it's not such a bad idea.
I'll convey your offer to Lord Capon. If he agrees, we can celebrate our lives.
I don't care what the young lord thinks. Hanush is the one to decide. If he agrees, I'll be happy to support your plan.
Pushing a friend to tie the knot to save the kingdom. Things have come to a pretty pass.
The kingdom will not forget his sacrifice. Now stop dilly-dallying and go and tell Hanush.
Take a look at that. A nightingale surrounded by hawks.
Job's the nightingale. He looks more like a wet hen to me.
It's quite unusual to see him cornered like this.
I'll bet my last groschen he's setting the stage for his final performance. I hope there'll be no singing. I've had a few nightingales and they all screeched like the devil.
Be careful with those groschen, my friend.
What is this about?
Oh, nothing. An old grievance.
A little misunderstanding involving a big pile of counterfeit groschen.
How big a pile? Big enough for that bastard Istvan to raise a small army. He caused us a shitload of trouble.
I heard about that Hungarian pussack. But he was dangerously clever. And as slippery as a bag of eels.
Even though Jobst is right, I'm in favor of decisive action. We can no longer afford to wait.
As if I didn't have enough on my plate already. Like my ward, who I can't leave unattended for a few days without him damn near getting executed.
Oh, go easy on him. It wasn't his fault. And you said you forgive him.
But for the last time, those shenanigans of his have got to stop.
Ah, young Lord Capon is an adult now.
But he doesn't act like it, damn it.
So marry him off.
What?
Find him a wife. That'll straighten him out in no time.
Well, now that you mention it...
He'll sire a few brats and he'll be as tame as a lamb. And happy.
An interesting idea, don't you think, Hanush? Maybe he really needs a firm woman's hand.
Don't you start too. Am I supposed to find him a bride? On top of everything?
No burger's daughter, but them merchants would bleed you dry before you could say dowry.
Sir Hanush, I bring happy tidings.
You do? Let's hear it then.
Young Lord Capon is going to get married.
If he's got some impoverished noble's daughter pregnant, I'll have his hide. I'm not going to support some bastard.
You misunderstood my meaning. I was the one who arranged the betrothal. I mean, with your blessing.
You arranged a marriage for my ward? Just like that? With who?
With the niece of Sir Bushek, Lord of Kunstadt. Her name's Yitka.
Bushek of Kunstadt? The Bushek of Kunstadt? Godwin, you conniving old bastard!
Oh, fuck.
I don't believe it. So, young Hans is to marry Kunstadt's daughter?
Niece.
If you're serious, I'll make sure that you get the Rattay parish.
Or you could make me the abbot of Sassa. Or what about a bishopric?
Forget it. Soon I'll be paying for a wedding. Not a word to Hans. I want to tell him myself. But let's drink to it, shall we?
Cheers!
Cheers to you, and to your parleying skills.
Godwin, you wouldn't be avoiding me. We didn't have much time for conversation on the way here. Let's rectify that.
With pleasure, sir. As it happens, there's something I'd like to ask you. Where did you leave Sir Divish? Surely he's not too old to miss out on such an event.
Haven't you heard? Lady Stephanie is with child. No one even imagined Divish would produce an heir at his age.
As they say, doesn't matter who kneaded the dough, as long as there's a pie in the oven.
Godwin.
Well, it could be a miracle. Praise the Lord! What are you expecting from today's gathering, my lord?
Well, I have no great expectations. But, all going well, we may be able to establish some joint steps towards the future. As long as we proceed without prior agreement and mutual support, we will be very unlikely to achieve any progress.
I couldn't help but notice your son has a bit of a talent for getting into trouble.
To put it mildly, but not to do him an injustice, knowing young Lord Capon, he undoubtedly contributed to that more than a little. Although, if they didn't pull each other out of trouble, God knows where they'd be now.
Wise words. Still, Henry's come a long way on a thorny path. I trust you're rightfully proud of him.
You know, I am. And Martin would also be glad, even though Henry chose a different path than he.
May God grant him eternal rest.
Exactly why we mustn't push.
Sir Bushek, your niece Yitka can start preparing for her wedding.
So Hanush agreed, without reservations.
Indeed.
Then I will fulfill my end of the bargain without reservation.
Thank you, Lord of Kunstadt.
Enough formality. We'll have a drink. What do you say?
Cheers to the beautiful Lady Yitka and the unhappy Lord Capon.
Here's to a good bargain.
looks like I... God be with you, noble lady. There's something I'd like to ask of you.
God be with you. What would that be?
Your diplomatic support. And your money.
No beating around the bush, eh? I like that. But what do you want my money for?
Margrave Yob's plan has some gaps, milady. We need to gather enough resources to...
To muster an army that Margrave can't afford on his own?
Christ. Be praised. You're astute.
I should say so. All sorts of people have their eyes on my money, and divining their intentions is a necessity. Although, between the two of us, it isn't hard to figure out what Liechtenstein is after.
Hit the nail on the head again, Mom. You're well informed.
I am rarely mistaken.
I'd say you have a better nose for people than most of this crowd.
Not only for people, but also for good food and wine. And beneficial deals.
Then you're in the right place. This occasion provides all of those things.
The wine here is average. The cooks lack imagination. And I have yet to hear any interesting offers. So, to the point. What is it that Liechtenstein wants from me?
Nothing more than support and resources for an army to parley more effectively with Sigismund.
Nothing more? I'd say that's plenty. And why ask me for help? Why should I, of all people, take the risk?
It's not only your money we're interested in. You're well able to negotiate and trade. And if you were to take part in our plan...
Then I'd be helpful to you on two fronts. If you want me to support you, you must give me a good reason. Perhaps a favor in return.
Do you have something in particular in mind?
Well, one of the guests here has something that shouldn't get into the wrong hands.
Who's that?
Harmon Alder. Now, if you were to switch these papers for the ones he brought with him, I would support your proposal.
And the papers I'm supposed to plant on Alder?
Just insignificant documents. If the incriminating ones disappeared without a trace, it would arouse suspicion.
And these papers I'm supposed to switch, what do they concern?
My relatives somehow dug up some trade contracts between myself and certain undesirable parties.
You were dealing with the enemy.
They were not the enemy at the time. My conscience is clear, but I'll rest easier when those papers are in my hands.
All right, I'll help you. Or at least I'll give it a try.
Alder will surely have the papers in his saddlebags, which he left in the shed on the outer courtyard. Bring them to me, and put these there instead. But watch yourself. Odorin's groom has eyes everywhere.
Take a look at that. A nightingale surrounded by hawks.
Job's the nightingale. He looks more like a wet hen to me.
It's quite unusual to see him cornered like this.
I'll bet my last groschen he's setting the stage for his final performance. I hope there'll be no singing. I've had a few
What brings you here? Greetings. What do you need?
Aren't you a bit bored?
What's your problem? The horses are fed and watered. I'm not idle.
God forbid. But standing around here must be a pain in the arse.
Not really. What of it?
Shall we roll some dice? I'm sure you can take a little breather, eh?
Well, all right. But just for a little while. I'll wait at the table over there.
Don't be a coward. Maybe you're not playing for the first time, but you can't beat me. I hope you don't throw like that again. Kurva! Why do I even play? I've got those papers from Alder for you.
Quiet! You don't have to announce it to everyone.
My lady, with all the clamor going on here, I can hardly hear my own thoughts. Here they are.
You're more capable than I expected. Thanks for the help.
You're welcome. And now you're part of the bargain.
As agreed. I will support Liechtenstein's proposal with both words and money.
Thank you, noble lady. God will...
Yes, quite. But let's drink to our bargain, Godwin.
How could I refuse a toast with such a fine lady? To your health, Lady Anna.
And to the success of our efforts.
Gentlemen, I think we can raise our goblets to the successful conclusion of the negotiations.
Is this supposed to be your secret weapon?
Like I said, miracles happen where you least expect them. Tell me, Godwin of the House of Odorin, what news do you bring us?
I bring nothing from the House of Odorin. But the widow of Waldstein and Sir Bocek of Kunstadt will support our cause.
Both of them? Good heavens, what did you promise them?
This is going to be a long story, and I could use a drink. So if you'll excuse me, my lords?
It would seem that we have all benefited from the break in these proceedings. New alliances have been formed. And I have also changed my plans. We shall still wait for Sigismund to withdraw his troops of his own accord, but we will wait with an army at our backs.
Yes! Yeah. And how are we to raise an army? Wasn't it made clear at the meeting that no one wants to take the risk?
The only thing made clear was that each of us alone is weak, and that we could not find common ground. But that has now changed.
King Wenceslas is, by the will of God, the balbatim of all his subjects. Not only the Christians, our community, and not only ours, will give you coin.
Yes! The Kuttenberg houses are still loyal to King Wenceslas, and we stand with Lord Ruthard.
And if that's not enough, the houses of Leipa and Kunstadt will unite and march side by side.
My niece, Yitka, will take young Lord Capon as her husband.
Lords Kunstadt, Hanush, Radzig, and I will set out immediately. God willing, we will be back within 3 weeks, along with an army.
Now Well, those are words worthy of a nobleman.
My friend, I still believe that words are more powerful than swords. And our words will ring in 1,000 voices to the glory of King Wenceslas!
After we conquered the city, you promised to restore order immediately. And then I find out things are even more disordered than before.
Your Majesty, we are sorry. We will put it to rights.
You've already said that. I want to hear real solutions.
We will put more guards on the roads and toughen penalties. We can have a few captured bandits executed as an example to others.
We do not care about bandits. We care about rebellious nobles and burghers. What will you do with them? How will you solve the chaos in the town administration, the rebellious miners, and the dismal yields? And how is it even possible that a rebellion against the king is smoldering here in the city?
What do you mean, sire?
I hear the resistance is coming from the Jewish quarter, from right under your noses. Why haven't you done anything?
We don't know who is behind this. Without evidence, we cannot punish them.
Otto von Berghoff did not ask questions in Prague either. He acted. And I advise you to do the same. Find a couple of wretches in a hole somewhere, point them to the Jewish quarter, and give them free rein. To do anything. The city's Jewish community was and still is on Wenceslas' side. They need a warning.
We do not even have enough men to...
Marquardt, could you spare a few men for a while?
Of course, sire. I'll assign them to Eric. He'll take care of it.
So you see, all you have to do is make sure the city rebel get their share. You could at least manage that, couldn't you? And if the thought should cross your minds that you would get rid of the debts to the Jewish moneylenders this way, forget about it. Your debts will remain, up to the last groschen. Only now you owe us directly. And while we are on the subject of money, has the yield from the mines finally matched last year's?
Sire, the deposits are dwindling, and mining is becoming increasingly difficult. And to make matters worse, the miners started rebelling.
Don't take us for a fool. They'll stop rebelling when you pay them proper wages.
Your Majesty, we can't do that.
Silence! How dare you oppose the kingdom's protector? You're a bunch of incompetent sycophants. Chicken shits. Not any better than the scum hiding in the forest.
And drunks! Give them hell! Lazy fools, the lot of them.
How dare you?
Some of you are even swelling right here in the city council meeting. This is unbelievable.
Remove this swill pot from the hall immediately.
I'm telling the truth. This whole council is a farce. The whole city knows it.
Lord of Sargents, your insolence just cost you your place on the council, and a month in the dungeon.
But...
Hopefully that'll be enough for him to sober up. And if not, put him in the pillory for a while, bailiff.
I'll see to it as soon as the council is over, Your Majesty.
All I hear from you over and over again are excuses and prevarication. And results? None. I therefore place the city council under the authority of Sir Marquardt von Aulitz, who is present here, with immediate effect. He will make sure you finally do your duty.
But, sire, that would be a violation of the privileges granted to us as a free mining town.
Silence! I am the only guarantor of your rights. You have to earn your privileges, not hide behind them. During my brother's reign, this idleness was perhaps tolerated. But that is over now. You were given a few simple tasks. But instead of working on them, you idled in the baths and lined your pockets. And let the traitors cast their nets undisturbed. But unlike my brother, I am capable of creating order. And I assure you, I do not distinguish between those who stand in my way. Be they beggars, noblemen, or city councillors. You have 2 weeks to restore order in the city and increase mining output. I want clear results, and you answer only to me and Sir Marquardt von Aulitz now. No one else. The council is dismissed. You, don't go anywhere, boy. Be so kind and remain here. Our throat has become rather dry. And we still wish to speak with our friend von Aulitz.
Yes, sire. As you wish, sire.
Between the two of us, Marquardt, was I not perhaps too harsh on them? And speak candidly. We have had enough of false flattery.
Sire, you were harsh, rightfully so. These councillors, they need to be shown their place. You suffered their insolence for far too long. And the same is true of the Jews.
We know. Otto repeated to us several times that it is time to strike against them. We are glad he's not here. He would be intolerably self-satisfied if he knew we had heeded him.
Boy, can't you see the king's cup is empty?
You tend to. Boy, pour us a monastic wine. The monks had a good... We have concerns, friend. The Hungarians are rebelling. Our army is falling apart, and we have enemies here on all sides. Would we had a proper army instead of human mercenaries? They cannot be relied upon. And we are no closer to our goal now than a few months ago. It is a good year. If our father were still alive, he would have been astonished by the mess that a few years of Wenceslas' reign brought to us. With a single word, he would have put the nobility in their place, and the country would flourish. God grant him eternal glory.
We won't need much more time. We'll arrest the traitor Odorin, and the rest will fall in line.
You say the others will be brought into line, but what do you know of them? We know only a few of them. But there's a fortress standing on every damn hill here. What side are their lords on?
We'll find out soon enough, sire.
If only Wenceslas were not such a stubborn ass, and relinquished that throne that he has no use for anyway. The nobility, on the other hand, found a ruler like him very useful. They made a puppet out of it.
Once you restore order, they'll join you. All you have to do is promise them the privileges they lost during Wenceslas' reign.
First, they'd have to be willing to make peace, at least among themselves. Jobs does everything he can to sow chaos, so that he himself emerges victorious in the end. This business makes me thirsty. Pour me some of that red, boy.
Suits him.
Maybe. But first I'll have to conquer a few more cities, and get a couple more lords on my side. Then they take the threat of war seriously. And Hungary. If Bohemia is a wasp nest, then Hungary is a viper's lair.
You will follow in his footsteps, sire, as soon as you get the chance.
but the wine is good here. To your health, Margaret. And to your health too, boy. May your children grow in a land ruled by a good king.
Thank you, sire. You are too magnanimous.
Why? You did a good job. You can be proud of yourself.
To your health, Your Majesty.
First, we need to crack down on the biggest troublemakers.
We're working on it. While the council was meeting, Otto von Berghoff and his men set out for Raposh. Alderin won't give you any more trouble.
He and Ruthard are in it together. Once we get Oderin, we can handle Ruthard easily. Rabosh will be yours. After all, Otto has already got Malishov.
I appreciate your confidence, sire.
But the devil knows there are a lot more strongholds to conquer here.
For the king, red wine, boy.
No, we shall have white. I think von Berghoff's little contraption will find its use again.
This town hall too. And I have some suggestions for other candidates.
Not so fast, my friend. It's a wondrous tool, but we can't rely on it forever.
But to bring it here to the square and point it at the city hall? Those sycophants would only benefit from a warning like that.
It's a splendid idea, but it won't be necessary. The councillors are quite fearful enough already that they can hide nothing from us.
There's been enough fretting, sire. You shall see. Soon we will drink to the conquest of another fortress.
You are right. So then, to victory. And you, boy, will you drink with us? So that you shall have something to tell your children and grandchildren.
To victory, sire.
To today's, and those of the future.
Stulturem mater, sempiter gravida.
I couldn't resist you either. The
Friend! You in need of something, my well-oiled friend?
I'd like to drink a toast with you to our joint success. As they say, all's well that ends well. So, to brighter tomorrows.
Touching.
Come now. What's become of your poetic soul?
I never had one.
Truly? Not even a little?
Well, maybe once. The older I get, the worse it is. Give me a few more years and I'll become a professional mourner.
See now. I'll gladly drink to that with you. Only, there's nothing to drink. We've run dry.
Fuck. I've got a tongue like a slice of weak old bread after all that gabbing.
Well, get something wet for us then.
His lordship is so unsteady on his legs, he can't make it as far as the keg.
To hell with that keg slop. Your father surely has something better stored away. I had my eye on him all evening. He had pictures brought from somewhere for himself and his closest friends, and left the rest of us to drink cheap dregs. Try and find one of those pictures for us, eh? I'm sure you can manage that.
You can bet on it.
I've got a nose for booze.
I don't doubt it. Get sniffing quick.
About the girls?
Well, you're not in France now. Here, nobody knows you.
But that is about to change. The defense of Gutenberg was just the beginning.
Ah, quite a farcical beginning.
Maiden in her pew.
Give me
Irish
100
priestess
knights
going
in
to
full armor.
Sweating at the altar.
And
Nearly drops his psalter.
Those
Hallelujah, Domine. Hallelujah,
with cavalry. Break through their lines.
Wow.
Hey, Mick!
About Sigismondo. The sooner he's gone.
Now we close our doors for the evening. People here know what to do. There'll be plenty more tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday too. Tebora mutantur et nos mutamur inilis.
Yes. Anyway, looking at him closely, I reckon he's more of a drafter. There are a few of those around my mind, too.
I beg your pardon?
What kind of name is Bruce Phallus, anyway? It's pronounced Bucephalus.
See now, just mispronounce the name, and we're not talking about a horse, but a cock.
Just look at him.
But you can hardly stand straight, Martin.
Bullocks. You're changing the subject, so you don't have to admit. Conrad, my friend, you'll vouch for me.
I see 4 hooves, a mane, and a tail. And I say it's a horse. But if you've got a different idea of what a horse is, then we'll have to discuss it.
Of course it's a horse. But not a bad one. But it's more suited for a ride in the woods or a hunt. And no use at all for battle.
You don't need an expensive horse for battle. You just need one that can run straight.
You're wrong. In a battle, your life depends on your steed. And some easily spooked pony is the last thing you need.
My boots of fellows is no pony.
Gracious, you couldn't think of a fancier name?
At least you can tell by the name that the horse is immensely valuable.
It depends. Well, if we can all agree that the name Bucephalus signifies higher value.
Irish priest has
Yes.
quite a view.
Anyway,
Sweating
looking at him
at the
closely,
altar. Nearly drops his psalter. Hallelujah, Domine.
Mine too.
Hallelujah, Domine.
What are you blabbering about? Shut up!
Bucephalus, Ishka.
Igi tu qui desidera pace.
Subject.
Prepare bill.
I'm right.
Who invited me?
Next time, have a bath before you come to see me, you pig.
Hunger, poverty, and plague. It's too much for a man to take. Even men of faith are cowering, faced by evil overpowering.
The red'll be good, I hope. Everybody likes a drop of white.
Now there's a piece of horseflesh for you, Rootard. Not like that nag of yours.
What the hell do you beat it with? It looks more like a damn bull.
Sir! Sir! There's some horsemen right out front of the fortress.
Ah, that's Peter of Pisac. He wouldn't come to the council, but he is coming happily to the celebration, you old fox.
Come on in, sir. There's wine aplenty.
Hey! Hey! Intruders! Enemies at the gates!
Seize the nobles! Kill the rest! Holy shit!
Jesus! They're surrounding Christopher. He can't make it on his own.
You're mine!
Take that!
Jesus!
He's
Stand your ground!
I'll beat you to a bloody pulp.
Good strike!
Coming you in a flash. That one hit the mark. Let him have it.
Smashed him up!
Let him have it!
Jesus Christ! What the fuck are you? A butcher?
Those fancy moves!
More coming! Go! Go! To me!
of shit!
That won't work on me.
You're a dead.
Go!
Whoa!
You led him on nicely. I'll sort you out nicely.
Now I'll show you.
Do it.
Oh,
wanker.
You swipe.
I'll sort you out nicely.
Spare him.
That was something.
Useless. Think you go a bit further before to forget? Stop gaping and forget about me! Right!
That was a close shave.
A little too close. Oh, fuck me. Did my eyes deceive me? Henry!
Godwin!
How did you get...
Damn. I can't tell you how happy I am to see you. You turned up at just the right moment.
Is everyone alright?
Well, some are, some aren't.
They captured Odorin, Kunstad and Rutard. And they took Alder and Kunrad of Vector away too.
They wanted to slay the rest like dogs.
What about my father? And Hanush?
They left with Yobs long before that. I'm sure they're all right, but... not everyone was so lucky.
What happened, Godwin? Who died?
Anna of Waldstein. She didn't stand a chance against those butchers. May she rest in peace.
She was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And they almost killed my brother. But only almost. Good work.
What do you mean, almost? What happened?
I got there in time to help him, fortunately. Christopher tried to defend our father, but nearly lost his life doing it. For nothing.
Old grievances aside, Odorin is an ally, the same as Rutard and Botchek.
Well, they all have their quirks.
cousin Botchick's a money-grabbing magpie. But I wouldn't give up on the fucker either.
We'll have to wait for the other side's move anyway. We don't even know where von Bergau took them.
I tried to come as soon as possible and warn you, but von Bergov's people beat me here.
You knew he was coming.
Markvart bragged about it to Sigismund, and Sigismund promised to make him Lord of Raborsch in return.
When he sees what von Bergau did with it, he'll shit himself.
You find that funny? Do you like watching those foreigner dogs rampaging around and slaughtering innocents? Who else has to die before we do something about it?
Tell us about it. We were neck deep in corpses before you bothered to turn up.
Well, not you.
Fuck you, Jan. I'd trade places with you in a heartbeat, trust me.
We've lost a lot of allies. We'll have trouble finding new ones. They'll be afraid to even peep against Sigismund.
Well, are you surprised? Look around. Sigismund showed everyone what's coming for all who resist him.
Is there anything we can do?
Definitely not right now. We'll treat the wounded, bury the dead, and get the hell out of here. Then we'll hide in the Devil's Den and wait for Jobst and his army.
If I survive the journey... Oh, God's teeth. That stupid nag nearly broke me in half.
The king announced one more thing at the council. He asked the councillors to ransack the Jewish quarter. That is, he ordered it, more like.
Fuck! Liechtenstein's got his people there. They could reveal a lot.
The city rabbi is sitting upstairs in the hall. At least he's safe here.
They're our allies. We have to help them.
What do you mean by we? Everyone here is lucky to be still breathing. I can just see them all jumping to their feet and rush to save their poor Jews.
Maybe Samuel will figure something out. He wanted to talk to you anyway.
He's here too?
Aye, escorting the rabbi. You should go and see them as soon as possible. And tell Liechtenstein too.
Anyway, we've got work to do. Godwin?
Give me a moment. I'll go and see Christopher first. Guard!
Really need to eat something.
If anyone shows up, I want to know about it. I'll be with Christopher.
I don't know.
Doing all well. Doesn't come back.
Then we'll have a young one. He's not a little boy anymore. Soon he'll get married and have a bunch of children.
We can only hope. Good doggy. Good boy.
Horrible. So many dead. For nothing.
They dragged Lord Odorin who knows where. And almost killed his son too. But why? There the animals.
Good to see you both. Alive.
Oh, come on. You know, I've walked out of much worse scrapes laughing. They could well have killed us all. If it hadn't been for you, Henry, von Berkhoff could have caused a lot more harm.
Even a man like you can't know everything. At least you're all alive.
Well, not all of us.
They killed Lady Anna of Volstein and many other nobles. It was slaughter.
And they captured our closest and most influential allies. Without them, we can hardly get the burghers on our side. We're stuck.
We'll figure out a way to help them.
But how? Our plans are ruined.
Get a grip. Whining doesn't help anyone.
You're right. When I drink too much wine, I get overwhelmed with self-pity. Nevertheless, I have to admit it can't get much worse.
Actually, it might. And very soon. At Sigismund's council, an order was given to ransack the Jewish quarter.
God's wounds! We need to get back to the city and warn them.
I'm going with you.
Out of the question. Do you want to end up imprisoned again? You'll be more useful if you stay here and help Shishka. Henry, tell Samuel and the rabbi to get ready to travel. I'll try to get someone else to join. Jesus Christ! So many dead, my God!
Take care of young Sir Christopher, and hope his father.
Should not come here. Did I say anything like that?
Young Sir Christopher came out of it badly.
But he'll live, right?
He should. He was covered in blood, but most of it probably wasn't his.
Thank God for small mercies. Otherwise, Rabosh would be left without a lord.
No one knows where they took Odorin and the others. Don't mourn just yet.
Did I say anything like that?
Young Sir Christopher came out of it. Don't mourn.
I'm glad you did. Don't say that.
If you got yourself killed, it wouldn't have helped.
Preaching again. Aren't you a priest?
That's true. We need to get you to the city. You're the Lord. Lord
I hope so.
All right. Peter of Pisek is our ally. He'll surely let you stay there, at least until you get back in the field.
Sam, I need to have a word with you.
Uh-huh. That makes two of us. Just tell him. You may not get another chance.
I talked to Godwin. He said you know each other?
What did you talk about? Me?
We talked about your stepfather, Martin.
Why? Neither of you knew him.
It's true, I did not. But I tried many times. Remember how I stared at your sword when we first met? I recognized the Master's symbol engraved there. Well, the thing is, I am Martin's son.
What? Pa's son? How did...
Yes, his son. That is, his bastard son.
Are you sure? We look the same age, and Martin lived with me and Ma as long as I can remember.
When I was born, he was already long gone. Maybe we are not even a year apart.
And what does that make us then?
Nothing. Proof perhaps that both your god and mine have a sense of humor. You know, all my life, I thought if I did not give a shit about that man, it would be easier. But now that I know I will never see him, it troubles me that I did not get to know him.
I'm sorry. But now you need to pull yourself together. This is not the end. We have to go to Kuttenberg, now. Sigismund ordered confiscation of the property of people in the Jewish quarter.
The king has approved Xere.
He's no king to me. He's a fucking whoreson.
What's a Gezerah?
That is hard to explain.
Nonsense. It is as clear as day. Christians set out to kill our people. Innocent and often defenseless. Ransack their houses and divide the loot. And all that with the king's blessing.
This is what we were afraid of. But we did not expect Sigismund to be in such a hurry. We need to get back into the city and get the people out, quick, before it begins. Will you come with us, Henry? Every man counts.
I'll come. And Liechtenstein already knows about it too.
Very well. We should get going right away.
Let's not waste time.
Thank God you're all right. On the way here, I saw Sigismund horsemen and feared the worst.
Kubienka? What brings you here?
Well, I heard you were having some kind of a feast here, so I came to grab a bit of meat. And I see, instead of that, you have a massacre here.
Well, the real massacre is yet to come if we don't do something fast. We have to get to Kuttenberg. Can we borrow the wagon you arrived on?
But of course. I borrowed it too, if you know what I mean, but,
Could you stop blabbering already? We don't have the time.
Easy, Ingele. And you, sir, if you can, come with us and help us.
All right. But could you please tell me what the fuck is going on?
I'll explain to you on the way. Time is running out.
Are you coming too, Sir John?
Of course.
Do you think that's a good idea? No offense, sir, but...
I'm not. But I'm not just going to sit here and wait, either.
All right, then. Let's go.
Perish. Can we go any faster?
Settle down, son. If you must keep your tongue busy, then you...
Would you tell me what the fuck is going on already?
Sigismund ordered an attack on the Jewish quarter. We need to take all my papers and get the people out of there.
Bloody hell. And I just got ailed up so nicely today.
Oh, that is just great. My mother's life is in the hands of a drunkard.
Don't worry. We'll save your mother.
And everyone else too. Don't forget that.
You seem to care an awful lot about these people, sir.
Are you surprised? It's all my fault. If they weren't helping me...
That droid of Sigismund, may his name be erased, would have found some other excuse to get rid of us.
Look, it's not that I don't feel sorry for you, but don't you think maybe we could make the horses go a little faster? At this pace, we won't make it there in a week.
Samuel, how... What was the story with your mother and Martin?
Do you
really want to talk about this right now?
It may be the last chance we get. We could both be dead in a while.
All right. But like I said, I never actually knew Martin. He once came to Kuttenberg and fell in love with my mother. But she is the daughter of a rabbi. Obviously, she could not marry a goy.
And tonight, you will see why.
If you want, Mame will surely tell you more. If we can get there in time. What was he like? I mean, Martin.
He was a good man.
Work those fucking horses.
All right. Schnell. Schnell.
What's the matter? Why are we stopping?
We will walk from here. We cannot drive right into those murderers' arms.
But how do we get into the town then?
We will go through Sheol.
There are many abandoned mine shafts under the town. One of them ends here.
Won't it collapse on our heads?
We'll find out soon enough.
Follow me.
What a blessing it is to have found the passageway.
Killed our savior.
What did you just say?
Nothing, I'm just blabbering.
I dare you to say that again. Loud and clear.
You know what, sir? Just ignore me and be glad I'm here. And you up front, pick it up a little curva. My arse is getting numb.
We should split up here. Me and the rabbi will go this way to the shul. We have to take the Torah and warn everyone.
What about us?
You keep going straight ahead and then to the left. You'll get right to the King Solomon Tavern. Gather up all the secret documents and wait for us.
Shouldn't someone come with you, just in case? How about Kubienka here? Henry and I can handle it.
Well, if you insist.
Was that all the contempt you could muster up?
Well, good luck. We'll see you up there.
This way, Henry. Hopefully we'll find it quickly. I left a stack of my papers in the tavern. And if they fall into Sigismund's hands, people in other towns will die too.
Do you think we're gonna make it in time? To find the papers? Save the people?
I pray we can, Henry. There's nothing more I can do. Hopefully everything will be all right at the tavern. My stash is locked away, and Samuel's friends are guarding the place. But who knows what the situation is like in the streets now.
Are you afraid?
Me? Do you have any idea how many times I've had to run from a burning town or deal with a hired assassin?
More than once, I reckon.
A lot more, I can tell you. But I admit, I was afraid every single time. Damn it.
What's the matter?
The door leading up to the tavern is open. Samuel's men wouldn't have left it like this. Somebody else must have got in.
I'll go upstairs and see if anyone is still there.
I hope so. If they took anything from down here, they mustn't get out alive. I'll gather up my things in the meantime. I'll meet you outside the tavern.
I'll beat you to a bloody pulp, fucker! I'll rip your ass! Show your stuff! Gorba! I'm wounded!
Baruch Hashem, Henry. You're all right.
Sam, you're back already? How does it look outside?
A few of the cutthroats got in over the walls, but we dealt with them. But there are more outside the gate.
4 of them were here in the tavern too.
Fortunately, they didn't take anything important. But your friends paid for it with their lives.
What?
I'm so sorry. If it's any consolation, Henry here has already taken care of those cutthroats.
But they didn't look like they just came to the tavern by chance. Eric must have sent them. What about your mother? Is she all right?
She is, thank God. I told her to get ready, and we would come for her right away.
I'm really sorry about your friends. We got here too late.
There was nothing you could do. Benavis Hamardes. This Eric is really pissing me off. I've never laid eyes on him, yet I cannot wait to wring his neck.
There'll be plenty of time for that later. We have to go now.
I'm sure Mama is waiting for us. We have to take her to the shul.
You go ahead. I'll lock the tavern and block the secret passageway so no one else can get in.
But sir, if any more of them come here,
I can take care of myself. Now go. God be with you.
I have to help him.
What's the matter? Where's Sam?
Don't worry, ma'am. He sent me to take you to him.
Mein Gott! What happened to him?
Nothing. He's out on the street helping the wounded. Let's go now. We're out of time.
Wait! Who are you anyway?
My name is Henry. I'm, Do you remember Martin, the blacksmith?
Of course I do.
I'm his... son.
Was sagst du?
Sam told me that...
Watch out! More are coming! Run to the back, it might be safer there!
What's going on?
Sam, are you all right?
I'm fine, but we will talk when you are safe. Now run!
We have to get to the synagogue. But how?
Through the backyard. Follow me. Watch out! They're shooting at us! From the ramparts! Get rid of them! For the yard! That is Judith and Lev! Can you help them?
Please leave her alone or...
Shit! He's nearly got me! I'll be done with you in a flash!
We cannot get past the wagon. We have to go this way. Through the house.
Fight him off! We're gonna die!
Come here. Do your worst.
Yeah.
Christ!
Mummy, are you all right? Now we have to go.
Henry! Over!
Kiss them all down!
Come on!
What the hell?
What is it, fuckers? Rather slaughter women? And the defenseless?
Let's go! What's going on up there?
Go inside. Quick. To the fucking task.
I've never been so glad to see you two.
In need of a helping hand, are you?
No. I just don't want to die here alone.
There they are!
Well, now we're really fucked.
We mustn't get inside. We have to hold them back.
For how long, though?
As long as we need to.
Let me through, damn it! I'll do it myself!
What's it called?
Hey, get here! You're in a fucking monster! Say a prayer!
Show your stuff! Wanker! Don't spare him then! Nice strike!
You led him on nicely!
Bash him on the head!
Go fuck yourself!
Five the rifle.
That bastard is mine! Kill the rest!
Kick your ass! Oh, fuck's sake!
That hit home! Shut him! Fuck around! Hey! Get him! God will forgive you! Cut us over! Go right ahead and that bastard is mine! Kill the rest!
I'll be done with you in a flash!
Frantic's bastard is mine! Show what you made!
done with you in a flash.
Say a prayer if you can.
Useless! Show what you're made of! I'll crucify you!
We'll kick your asses.
I'll crucify you!
Blood, that will work on me. Right between the eyes. Shoot him on the head. Once more and we can go home. Don't kill him. This one's right. Smash him on the head.
You can hardly stand, asshole.
Like that. Too slow. We'll take your ass in.
Help me with him! I'm bleeding!
Talon's waiting, you bastard!
Oh!
I'll crucify you! I'll crucify you! Show what you're made of! Christ! Give me strength! Kill them! God will forgive you!
Cut your arms off!
Shit! Show your stuff! Give me strength! You won't get me!
Come on! Everyone's inside!
Henry, come on!
Let's go!
God mogen meer. Let's go. It's this way. Damn. That was a close shave. I reckon I should go to Samuel's mother and talk to her about Martin. I won't get another chance.
Surely we cannot just leave them here like this.
There's nothing we can do now. We must get the wounded out of here first.
Are we just supposed to bury them by the side of the road?
I am sure the Lord will understand. And if you do not believe me, ask the rabbi. He will surely agree.
Look at it, all ablaze.
I still hear it. The screaming.
Return, O Lord. How long shalt thou be wrathful? Have compassion with thy servants.
Bist du ernst?
Yom Iro, ani eileicho eftoch. Wenn ich hab gehad Meures, bin ich säumig auf Hashem.
Das hast du mir schon so oft gesagt. Aber es ist noch schwer für mir.
Wir können schmusen wegen das Eufen weg. Aber koidem gei, und se Oib emetzer darf noch helfen.
No good. Thank you, Henry, for everything.
We survived. For a while there, I thought we were gonna die.
Many have died, indeed. It is a hard trial to go through. So many lives lost, the shul in flames.
I'm so sorry. There was nothing more we could do.
You are right. It was too late. How happy I would be if we could get everyone out. But what is done is done.
What will you do now?
Now we must find help in some other community of believers. We will try our luck in Colin. Many of us have relatives there.
Do you think you'll be pursued?
Well, the mercenaries might follow us, but hopefully it will not come to that. Chas v'sholem. We will split up into smaller groups, so we don't attract much attention until we get farther away from the town. Besides, who would chase us when we have nothing? We left everything behind in the town.
God be with you, Rabbi.
Sei gesinnt, and please watch over Samuel.
Rabbi, we cannot just leave them here, can we?
Who are you talking about?
About our dead. We cannot just leave them lying around here. We have to take them with us.
Easy, easy, calm down. Our main concern is to save the living. But that does not mean we abandon the dead. We will pray for them and remember their names. The Lord is great. He will not forget their sacrifice.
Are you all right? I almost didn't make it to you.
We are all right, Be'ezras Hashem, but I was sure they were going to kill us.
Thank you for helping us, for Pekayech Nefesh. Unfortunately, that is all we can give you. Just our thanks.
That's all right. Good luck.
To you too, young men. What is your name, anyway?
Henry of Skalitz.
Henry, if you are ever in Colin and you need something, we will be sure to help you.
All right. I'll keep that in mind. Have a safe journey. And God be with you.
Yehi rotzen milfonecha Adonai Eloheinu. Velohei avoseinu shetolichenu lesholem.
Sei gesund.
Don't worry. Even if that happens, it will be able to pull the wagon. Look at him.
Yes, pull it will, but it will not be fast enough.
Do not worry. We will manage like this for a while before he gets us another one.
But what if someone notices?
So what? He's not stealing the horses. He's buying them. He knows many of the local horse traders. I'm sure at least one will take pity and help us. Damn it. Where is Miriam? Where is she?
Are you all right?
I'm fine, lad. I thank you for everything.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Mein Gott, boy. Have you not helped us enough already? Now we have to manage on our own.
I know this might not be the best time, but... do you think we could talk about Martin?
Right now? Well, all right then. How is Martin, actually?
He died. It's only been a few months.
Oh,
Sigismund burned down my village. Pa went to help Ma and... well... they both died there.
I am sorry to hear that, lad. But that is the Martin I knew. He always put others first. At least you survived. That would make Martin happy.
I'm sorry I don't have better news to give you.
Do not worry about it. I am just sad he died before he could meet Samuel.
Is everything all right?
Yes, do not worry. We were just talking about Martin.
And what about you? Did you find another man?
No, never.
Not for a lack of suitors, though.
But we saw them all off pretty quickly. Isn't that right, mein Sohn?
How did you meet Martin, if I may ask?
It was such a long time ago. He wanted to open a blacksmith shop in town, but there was no place among your people, so he tried his luck in our quarter.
And that's where he met you?
The rabbi gathered the good men so they could decide whether we wanted to have a goy blacksmith. And Martin wouldn't stop looking at me all night. Then it went Schlag auf Schlag.
So what happened that made Martin leave you?
My Martin would never leave me. My father found out we were seeing each other and did his best to drive him away. To marry a goy is isur deoraisa, forbidden. But Martin would not give in, and we kept seeing each other, until one day, I was ubore.
That means pregnant.
Yes. My father knew that if word got out, he would not be able to avoid the shame. So he did not miss a beat and took me out of town in secret. I did not even have time to tell Martin the news. I was gone for almost 4 years. In the meantime, my father told everyone that he had married me off, but my husband died. And he only let me come back when he was sure people had accepted it.
Did Martin not go looking for you when you suddenly disappeared?
People said he did go looking for me, even as far as Kolin, but he did not find out anything at all.
If only he had gone all the way to Prague.
Even if he went to the very edge of the world, it would not have been enough. Father would have hidden me somewhere else.
And did you ever go looking for Martin?
I asked around, but no one remembered anything. Or they chose not to. That was probably my father's doing too. And I could not just leave and go looking for him around the world. I had to take care of Samuel. That was the most important thing.
All right. That's about it.
Before you go, tell me, what was Martin like as a father?
Well, he was strict with me, but not too much. Especially in the forge, he worked me hard. So I dream about him quite often. About that last day and what he said to me while we were forging a sword together. He said a life of adventure can be over before it begins. And that blacksmithing might be a dull job, but I keep my head on my neck.
He was absolutely right.
Well, look at me now.
You saved all our lives. Martin would be proud of you. He raised you well.
I'm sorry to keep you this long, but... well, I never thought I'd have a brother, even if not related by blood.
Well, I did not expect that either. And thank you, my almost brother. If it was not for you, I do not know how today would have ended. What are your plans now?
I'll go back to the Devil's Den. To Zizka and the others. We need to figure out what to do next.
I will see you there then. But first, I have to escort everyone to Colleen. I do not want anything to happen to them on the way.
Everything should be all right now.
Take care of yourselves, dear brother. I will see you this time tomorrow at the Devil's Den.
Have a safe journey.
Sei gesund.
bring bad news from Kuttenberg. Eric's soldiers and the town rabble have torched the Jewish quarter. Fortunately, we saved most of the people. But I doubt they can form an alliance with us now.
Fuck. Where are they now?
Oh, Samuel and the rabbi took those who survived to Colleen.
Shit. We have to find Dry Devil and Capon and decide what to do next.
Samuel said to wait for him. He wants to be here when we discuss our plans.
But if he's gone to Colin, he won't be back till tomorrow, will he? Oh well. In the meantime, you can at least have a look for the men Dry Devil mentioned. Adam, Matouche, and the others.
I'll bring them. Count on me.
Ah, well, what would you like? Careful.
Quiet. Oh well. Now just
I heard you fought in the Battle of Kosovo. Is that true?
Why wouldn't it be?
Well, I'd hate to fall for one of your jokes. And I know you talk a lot when you're drunk.
True enough. And I'm drunk a lot. That's true too. But as St. Killian is my witness, it's true I was on the field of Kosovo, and I fought there. And I was quite sober.
So how did it happen? Tell me. I don't think I can quite imagine such a massive battle. How many soldiers were there?
Countless, lad. I'd never seen so many take the field. At least 10,000 men on our side. And Sultan Murad must have had at least twice as many with him.
So how did the battle go?
Lord forgive me, but it went to shit.
Could you be more specific?
Specific? Well, I only know what people said after the battle. When you're in the midst of it, you don't see what's happening around you.
Which was?
Well, it's hard to describe. Attacks are followed by retreats, and between that, only fatigue and dust.
So what happened?
When the battle began, the Serbian cavalry crushed the Turkish left flank. It looked good for us. But alas,
that was just the beginning. Soon, we got ours too. We fought valiantly, but they pushed us back, and in the meantime, they hit our center. The Sultan's Janissaries attacked us there. Damn devils, and raised all hell. Rivers of blood soaked the ground.
How could you survive something like that?
You can't give up, and death isn't an option. But then a rumor spread that Prince Lazar had fallen, and everything began to crumble. But he was a tough old warrior of the Nemanjic royal blood. He wouldn't give up just like that. With an arrow in his eye, he climbed his horse and rode straight for the Sultan. Well, that's how he saved us. The battle then lasted until evening. But no one had the strength to force the enemy to retreat.
And where did you fight?
In the saddle. I'm a nobleman, after all. But I lost 3 horses under me. So in the end, I also fought on foot. Most of us mercenaries were on the left flank, under the command of Vladko Vukovic. But he soon got wounded, and the men began to flee. I mean, if it wasn't for Nicholas Gabriel, we wouldn't be talking here today.
And who was that?
The commander of our company. A born warrior, and a good friend. In fact, Zizka reminds me of him a bit sometimes. In any case, the fact that Gabriel had taken a command at that point meant our flank did not buckle, and the Ottoman rabble did not cut us to pieces as we fled.
So who won in the end?
The battle lasted all day, and in the end no one knew who had won, because both sides left the field. Only later did we find out. Prince Lazar had fallen there alongside all his Serbian nobility. Still later came the news that Lazar had been captured and executed by the Turks the day after the battle.
They executed a prince?
Aye. They beheaded him, because someone had slit their sultan's throat like a piglet.
So you didn't win?
It's hard to say. We held our own against the odds and survived. Only without their prince, it was just a matter of time before Serbia fell into the new Ottoman Sultan's lap. Fortunately, I didn't stick around to see it. All the same, even as I'm telling it, it strikes me what an adventure it was. I suppose time heals all kinds of shit. In the end, you forget the bad things. And yet, I can only thank God that Nicholas Gabriel was there.
Your captain?
Aye, him. We actually became friends of sorts. He even taught me one of his sword tricks.
He did?
Aye, really. I could even show you sometime. A memory of the good man who saved my arse on that day.
Mert! Where have you got to now? My God, where is that dog? Mert! Oh, he's run off again, the little beast. Mert! Here, Mert! Fuck, he's run off.
Henry! You have no idea how glad I am to see you alive and all in one piece. I was really worried about you. I prayed to Our Lady the Protector to watch over you in Kuttenberg. It's good she heard my pleas.
Thanks for putting in a good word. It definitely came in handy, because it wasn't nice at all. Lots of violence and death, countless foes. We could have easily kicked the bucket any moment.
God damn! What happened there?
It didn't look so bad at the start. We actually arrived in time and urged everyone to flee. But some of Eric's cutthroats got inside the tavern and murdered everyone there. Before we'd finished with them, a great mob gathered outside and struck against the gate. And it fell.
Oh, fuck! That sounds like a right massacre. God damn it. I should have gone there too. I could have been some use at least.
I'm always glad to fight by your side. But you wouldn't have changed anything there. There were too many of them. And when the whole street was thronged, there was no stopping it. All we could do was try to hold back Eric's people as long as possible, so the locals could flee to the synagogue. See, there's a hidden tunnel inside it, leading out of the city.
Fucking tunnels! Ugh. But thank Christ for them. What about Liechtenstein?
He's fine. And he managed to get those mysterious documents of his out. He left with the survivors for Colleen.
Praise God. He's from an old and glorious house. It would be a dreadful pity if he got left behind. The main thing is you got out. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to thank you properly for coming to Malashov for me.
No need to thank me.
I beg to disagree, my brave and faithful companion. First and foremost, be it known that if you should ever similarly find yourself in captivity, I swear before our Lord Jesus Christ that I shall come for you as you came for me. And secondly, I have something here for you. A truly knightly reward for your knightly deed. A hunting bow that has no equal in the province. I hope it'll brighten your thoughts after all those horrors. It can fell the mightiest buck deer and enchant many a doe. And besides, it has attached to it an enlightening history.
I'm honoured. Thank you, friend. Please enlighten me, O noble sir.
According to legend, this bow belonged by right to Margrave Jobst of Moravia, who, however, was not worthy of it. And so, fate decreed that it fell into the hands of a proper knight.
What are you saying?
When I found out that Jobst would gladly leave me locked up, it got my blood up. So, to pay him back, I relieved him of the bow in Raborsch, and it was immediately clear to me that that bow should go to none other than you.
That is certainly just, I'd say.
I knew we'd see eye to eye. It'd be great to try that bow out right away. We could ride out together on the hunt. Wine, bacon, wine, the deep woods, a quiver full of arrows, wine, shoot some deer and celebrate with wine, like we used to do back home.
We only went hunting together once.
Yeah, but it was memorable. Don't tell me you wouldn't like to do it again. But first duty, then some fun, eh? You'd better be going.